So if you get away from that indoctrination and focus on the scholastics, you're going to have, and obviously, and turning out good students. In the past, public schools were able to turn out great students.
Mesa Schools was one of the top in the state,
I think
30
in the
years
country.
ago. Yes, 30 years ago. And literally people were flocking to Mesa to live here because of the schools. And now they're fleeing Mesa because of the schools.
Welcome to Save Mesa Podcast. We're diving deep into what the City Council and the school board are planning, proposing, and pushing because transparency matters. We want to keep you informed about the decisions impacting your city to help you defend Mesa's values, protect our freedoms, and hold local leaders accountable. Join us as we help keep Mesa a safe and family-oriented community. Welcome to the Save Mesa Podcast. I am Alex Vranichich, and today we have a special guest, Ed Steele, former candidate for school board, Mesa Public Schools, and now very involved still with the public schools. And he's going to be here to update us on the newest, what's happening. We're going to be talking about the enrollment, the proficiencies. We're going to discuss new proposed tax, and then some of the reorganization with administration,
Right.
and end with a really positive note on EVIT.
Yep.
So, Mr. Ed,
Good to be here. Thanks
you
for
for-
having me.
Yeah, appreciate
It's always
you.
good to be on the podcast.
love that you're here, and I got to say, how about that beard?
Hey, they say the camera adds 20 pounds. I think it added 20 pounds to my beard.
So I'm encouraging officially for Mr. Ed here to do some volunteer work as Santa Claus for this coming Christmas season. So
That's a
anyway,
possibility.
I love it. Well, give us some updates. Where are we at? What's happening? And what should the citizens be aware of at the school board?
So, Alex, I want to give some numbers regarding enrollment versus headcount for the schools versus proficiency. For instance, in the 2018 school year, Mesa had just over 60,000 students enrolled. In the last year, 2024, they had 52,000, or roughly a little over 10% drop in enrollment. In my opinion, the district has not come to terms with what's causing that. My opinion is a lot of it has to do with ideology being brought into the classroom as well as poor proficiency scores. So let me give you a little bit of data that kind of supports what I'm saying. For the same time period, administrative and specialist headcount went from 603 to 743, 23% increase.
So can you clear specialist headcount? Tell us what is that?
So it's administrative.
Specialist is not a teacher.
Specialist is not a teacher,
Okay.
so that would be a classified staff as opposed to a certified staff, which is teachers. It includes things like counselors, social workers, those types of folks. I will tell you, counseling staff went from around 111 to about 155 over this time frame. A lot of those counselors were brought in with COVID money, or they call it ESSER money, but it was COVID money. The district got around $230 million over that time frame for COVID. Now, that money was supposed to be used to help offset learning loss because of kids being out of the classroom. But the district spent a lot of money hiring social workers so the kids could deal with their feelings. And it's not translated into improved proficiency scores. So I'll give you some examples. 2018 school year, English language arts proficiency was 39%. 2024 school year was 37%. So that dropped. Math proficiency 2018 was 43%. And in 2024, it was 30%. Again, a pretty significant drop. The largest drop was in the science. 2018, we were at 52% proficiency. 2024 was 24. Significant losses in proficiency scores. At the same time, we're bringing in more administrative headcount, social workers. The social emotional learning has really proven to be a disaster for our schools. It's not helping the kids learn. It's teaching them that other people have to be responsible for their feelings, and we're not setting up kids for future success as we continue down this path.
Can I know AI is an issue, and I've been reading some stories actually from China, what they're doing with their students and limiting how much AI access the students are able to have. I don't know how they do that necessarily, but somehow they're turning it off and not allowing them to use it. Because I know now with homework assignments, for example, kids are using AI to do their homework assignments. So if you're dependent on AI to do your homework assignments when it comes for the exam, where you don't have access to AI to give you the answers,
right?
I can see where, this is just me thinking, this is what's happening. Could we correlate possibly some of that with because these are test scores, right? How
right.
they test.
State assessment tests.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so if you're instead of using this AI as a tool to help you learn, and you're now dependent on it for the answers come test time, I'm just throwing that out there.
Yes.
Could that be one of maybe several reasons? But
yeah, AI is certainly going to be. That's the wild card in education right now, and it's that way everywhere, not just in Mesa. Yeah. Mesa just approved an AI program to help teachers create assignments for students based on the learning materials that they have already approved. So it's a limited scope. It's junior high only. It's going to be 1,300 students. They're doing sort of a rollout test of using artificial intelligence to help teachers understand where each student is deficient in their learning, and then make customized assignments to help mitigate that. It was approved. The district is supposed to allow the parents to go in to observe how this thing really works, because there are a lot of concerns with how AI is going to be used in the schools, and is it a good thing or is it not a good thing? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, here and then on the artificial intelligence, is it possible for artificial intelligence to have a bias?
100%. That's the biggest concern that we brought up at the school board meeting when they were discussing bringing this AI in. It's called Course Mojo. You can do some research on it. It's interesting. This company gave Mesa Public Schools for free 1,300 licenses for this software, so that they can apply it to 1,300 junior high school students. And every time I hear the word free related to technology, alarm bells go off, because that to me means they're using the technology to data mine our students.
Something that
so the students become the product, instead of the people that we're supposed to be teaching.
Yeah, I've heard the term, if it's free, you're the product.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, how long of a runway does the school board do time frame to test this out? And then
it's going to be 1 year.
1 year?
Yeah.
What's the learning curve for teachers?
Well, that's another thing. We don't know. I mean, it's going to vary,
sure,
with the teacher. So you have 1,300 students. So, I don't know what you're going to have, 40, 50 teachers that you have to train, get up to speed. That
we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be a short learning curve, but again, teachers are just people too, and they're going to learn at a different rate.
not to get stuck on artificial intelligence, but it's here. Everybody has lots of questions. It could be used for good. It could probably be used equally on the other side for bad. But it's here, and so either we master it or it's going to master us. I mean, that's just I don't know if you can do both.
Yeah, so the district is looking at policies to put in place to help mitigate any potential side effects or negative side effects of using artificial intelligence. But,
Safeguards?
Safeguards, guardrails, whatever they call it. But, artificial intelligence is smarter than we are. So, we can put in these guardrails, but artificial intelligence is continuously learning. So if it's set up, like you said, with a bias, it'll find ways to overcome it, in my opinion. I'm no AI expert, but from what I can...
I've heard stories of these programmers, these engineers, their internal communication with each other. Hey, maybe we should shut this thing down. Maybe we should shut this part down. And AI then starts blackmailing the different people within the organization not to be shut down. So that
Well, what was the movie? 2001.
One Space Odyssey. Yep.
Open the pod bay door, Hal.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave, I can't do that.
Sorry, Dave. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Right. So
that's
here.
We'll find out at the end of this year, and hopefully there is some good that comes out of this.
Yeah, so we do have, there's a gentleman who's an artificial intelligence expert who we're trying to get the district to give access to this program, to demo the program.
Before?
It's turned on, it's going. We wanted to get it evaluated and looked at prior, but we weren't afforded that opportunity. So it's here. Our next step is to try and get some people who really know this technology to go in and do some critical evaluation of how it's going to be used in the classroom to make sure, we're not just being told it's okay. We have a little bit better feeling that, it is okay.
So on the enrollment side, we're still seeing a drop in the public schools. Part of that, me as a father that does not have children in the public school system, in the government schools, is because if I have a concern and I go to the school board, most often the experience is, well, okay, thanks for letting us know. We got to go down. Whereas the private school my children are at, if I have a concern, I go to the board and they're like, okay, thank you for letting us know. We'll look into that. And then I think the parents at times can feel as if, we have concerns, but for whatever reason, you guys are just going down this path that you've determined that you're going to go down and not being heard or considered. I mean, when you guys are at the school board and you're expressing, hey, these things.
I think it's gotten better over the 4 years or 5 years that I've been involved in it. Fortunately, we have a couple of conservative school board members who take our concerns seriously, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. We have a new superintendent in place that I think is going to be a lot more responsive to the community concerns, parent concerns.
What is his name?
His name is Matt Strom, Dr. Matt Strom. He was promoted or hired in by the board internally. He was assistant superintendent for a couple of years in the district. So I think that gives him some advantage of, he's seen what's going on in the district. He has an idea of where the deficiencies are and what needs to happen in order to make this a better school district. And I think not only that, but I think he has the courage to make those changes that have to be made.
Good.
And so we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute.
Back on the enrollment, I think because of the way that Arizona is now with the vouchers, the money can actually follow the students. I mean, the parents can say, you know what, I'll take that voucher and I'll partially be able to put, private school, or I like this other charter school,
or even homeschooling.
Or homeschooling.
Right.
And so having a parent, having them have the choice, it looks as if parents are choosing to remove, and this is what I would say is probably the drop in enrollment.
I think that has a huge part. Yeah, I think it does play a huge role. Like I said, parents are very concerned about the ideology being pushed in the schools and the poor proficiency.
Well, okay, sorry, on the ideology, I just saw something that came out, I think it was this last week, about the flags.
Yeah, I saw that too. It was like a 3-second video clip inside of a classroom at Dobson High, and it had flags all around the room, which were ideological and had nothing to do with approved classroom materials. There was the Pride Progress flag. There was a Black Lives Matter flag. Just things that are very controversial. Trans flags, Pride Progress, LGBTQ flag. These are things that parents don't want their kids exposed to.
Was there
now again, there was. We don't know when this video was taken.
But is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, as far as yes, absolutely, okay. Ideology. And it's actually, in my opinion, taken a step in the wrong direction. Some of you may have heard about the academies that are being brought in where students can, in the 9th grade, select a sort of a career path they want to go down, and then the courses they take in high school are geared towards that learning environment. And one of the academies is called Public Service. Now, I looked over some of the curricula in the public service academies, and to me, it's more political activism and ideological instruction rather than what I consider public service is people who work in the government and serve the people. They're talking about how do you become a change agent in your society, and how do you, how do governments ration, scarcity of resources, and people who have a lot of money and people who don't have a lot of, and how does that, so a lot of concern there that not only have we done it unofficially in the schools through teachers putting these trans flags and other ideological things that aren't approved materials. Now we have an approved curriculum that's going to be offered to the students that are, in my, again, my opinion, it's going to drive them to be social justice warriors, political activists, things that don't, in my opinion, again, don't have a career path future.
Yeah, what's the return to the community? With,
exactly. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
police cars on fire and buildings on fire, and
maybe
I jest, but
the extreme perspective here on flags. Would it be crazy to think that there's only 2 flags that should be allowed in the classroom, which is the United States Old Glory and the Arizona state flag?
Yeah, by state statute, that's a requirement, as is the Bill of Rights.
If you start putting in other flags, you start separating people.
It's divisiveness. Yeah, absolutely. And, I've had this conversation. I made that speech in front of the governing board. I said, look, flags are powerful symbols. They're not just mere wall decorations. They represent something of importance to some group of people. And when you plant a flag in your classroom, that's a declaration to me of war. I'm sorry. It just is.
Or victory.
Or victory.
Yeah,
I have conquered this. I have conquered this territory in the name of this flag.
Yeah.
because we do that when we conquer terror. I mean,
Yep.
look at Iwo Jima.
Yep.
Everybody can picture that image.
Well, on
and
enrollment,
they want to write it off as, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, and it is a big deal.
well, as long as they don't address it, it will ferment. It will the pressure cooker, if you will. The pressure
Yes.
builds up, and if they don't release the pressure,
Right.
people are going to take their kids out.
They're going to take they're driving the ship into the rocks,
Yeah.
and that's what they're doing.
But they won't touch that. Don't touch that.
Yeah.
That pillar.
So
Don't.
I'm encouraged by the new superintendent.
Okay, good.
I do know that he communicated, and again, I don't know when that video of Dobson High Classroom was taken. It may have been a year ago, but that's immaterial. If it was there at all, it shouldn't be there. The new superintendent, I do know, was notified about this, and he reached out to the principal at Dobson and said, you need to go around and walk through these classrooms and make sure this isn't happening.
Really?
So, yeah. So, again,
Wow.
I'm encouraged. Okay. I'm encouraged. Now, we still have a long ways to go.
But that is a huge leap from the
Yeah,
direction.
I think so. So the previous superintendent would have just ignored it.
Yeah. So what's next there? So we have what's this new tax
So we
thing
had
about?
that. So I guess you heard on July 8th, the governing board voted to implement a tax levy on your property taxes. So your tax rate's going to go up for 1 year. It's called an adjacent ways tax levy. So what they need to raise $5 million, they say, so that they can do adjacent ways improvements. Now, what is adjacent ways? Adjacent ways are any like ingress, egress to the school property from the public streets. So bus lanes, fire truck lanes, things like that are considered adjacent ways. So they have to go in and update or repair or make new either bus lanes off or car pickup lanes off of the street onto the school property. This is what they use that money for. It'll be a 1-year tax. It'll go away after 12 months unless they vote another one in.
So, and who's vote? This is the school board?
The school board, yeah.
So the school board can vote to increase taxes.
Yeah.
Not a representative, not a...
Well, it technically is your representative.
For the school.
For the schools, right. It's interesting that, yes, they're allowed to do that.
So they can do that, but a bond has to go to the vote.
Correct.
So is this a workaround a bond?
Not technically. I mean,
Technically, the verbiage is different.
The verbiage is different.
But it achieves the same thing.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's a much smaller amount of money. Again, my opinion, and I made this point at the board meeting. I said, look, this is $5 million. Your budget's $600 million. Can't you find 1% somewhere and not raise taxes on people? And their answer was obviously no. You know, it's easier to raise the taxes on you than it is to go find the money, in my opinion. Again, I will, in defense of that, I will say that over the last few years, the tax rate that you are paying has continued to decline, which is a good thing. But if your property assessed value is going up, it's kind of a wash, or it can be a wash. I would encourage everybody to go to the county assessor's office, pull up your detailed tax record on your property, and see where the money's going. And you'll find out, like I did, that 2/3 of the money you pay in property taxes go directly to Mesa Public Schools.
2/3.
2/3. So if you're paying $1,500 a year in property taxes, $1,000 is going directly to Mesa Public Schools.
So let me just connect the dots here. Lower enrollment,
Right.
So the school now is getting the school system is getting less per pupil because they've left, right?
Correct.
The taxes are going up. Your 2/3 of your property tax is going to the school. Is there ever a correlation of, hey, maybe something's not working right, and therefore, obviously, they're going to get less money, but then I'm just trying to connect the dots here. You have a
Yeah.
in the business world, hypothetically, you have a failing business.
Right.
It's going to increase its prices on the product or service that it produces or provides, but it's still failing even after the
Right.
So how does this work out eventually?
So it's interesting. I heard it phrased this way. If you have a failing system, the last thing you want to do is feed it more money, because the system takes that as a reward and will continue to perform poorly. So 2023, the district came to the voters and asked them to approve a bond and an override. There was a lot of pushback, first time that's probably ever happened in Mesa. And the bond, which was $500 million,
$500 million,
failed.
the override for the teachers passed.
The override for the teachers
Yeah.
passed. So the teachers were funded. The school district, the failing system, was not funded.
Yeah.
And so I consider that a victory for the community to take up, so, but I want to just throw out a cautionary tale that probably 2026, they're going to come back to us and ask us to approve a bond again.
So here is where, my opinion, if they want support from the community, you've got to give the parents the proper education for their children, and then people will be saying, you know what, I can see where we need this money.
Right.
You're not trying to indoctrinate my kids to not like their country,
Right.
not like their parents,
Not like themselves.
not like themselves, because they're in the wrong body.
Right.
And so if you get away from that indoctrination and focus on the scholastics, you're going to have and obviously, and turning out good students. In the past, public schools were able to turn out great students.
Mesa Schools was one of the top in the state,
I think in
30
the
years
country.
ago. Yes, 30 years ago. And literally people were flocking to Mesa to live here because of the schools. And now they're fleeing Mesa because of the schools.
Maybe go back to what it used to be, go back to what worked.
Right.
There's a track record
Yeah.
instead of innovating new ways to do new stuff.
Yeah.
Because anyway,
Well, that's an important word, is innovation. All the schools want to be innovative. They want to be known as the first district that did this, or the first district that, and that's not serving the needs of the students. And the students have voiced that to the leadership. And previously it's fallen on deaf ears. I know for a fact the current superintendent is hearing that message loud and clear, that if you ever hope to have public support for increased funding in schools, you need to deliver a better product.
Yeah.
And I think, previously I don't think the leadership took that seriously. Right now, I'm hopeful that they are looking at it very seriously, and they understand that that's absolutely the way it's going to be.
Well, there's also, I would say, more engagement from the community over the last several years.
More engagement, but we can always use more. I
Sure.
mean, we need, we have 50,000 students in this district. We have lots of parents, and we'd love to have them show up at the school board meeting, and if not to speak to the school board, at least see firsthand what goes on there. You can always watch it online. They have their YouTube channel, and it's always broadcast live. But there's something to be said for sitting in the gallery, watching the meeting progress, and seeing everything that goes on with your own eyes.
So what else do we got? Well,
What else?
other than this possible new bond again next year.
Yeah, I'd give it about a 90% possibility that the board is going to vote to send that
To the voters again.
Send that to the voters next November, November 2026.
This time it'll be with the regular election cycle.
So yeah, that's a huge difference. And I will say, the reason. So last time they did it in 2023, which is considered an off-cycle election. So as such, the district had to pay out of its own pocket to administer that election, and it ran somewhere, and then we don't have the final number, I guess. I don't. But it was $300,000 to $500,000 just to run this election. It was mail-in only, and the reason they did it on the off-cycle was due to the consultant they hired telling them they have a greater chance of success because voter turnout in off-cycle elections is low.
People aren't paying attention.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we have it in 2026, that'll be on cycle. It'll be on your ballot as opposed to a mail-in independent vote. And it's going to be a lot harder to pass.
Yeah.
And if it was defeated before, they better start showing us some progress if they hope to have it pass this time.
Tell us about the
admin reorganization.
Yeah.
So July 1st was Dr. Strom's first official day as the new superintendent of the district. And I'm cautiously optimistic. When I watched his interview for the job and the other candidates, he definitely had a better handle on what I think needed to happen in the district, and he said a lot of the right things. It's one thing to say the right things, but it's something else, to go into the office and start doing it. There's going to be a lot of resistance, and, I say this all the time when I go speak at the boards. I said, great leadership requires courage. And I think Dr. Strom is one of those rare people in public service that has courage. And we've already seen it. He's only been there a little over a month, and I've already seen things, and especially with the admin reorganization. He's already eliminated all of the assistant superintendent position by title anyway. So he's reducing the count of administrators. He has now chief of staff, which I think is a good combination of having a superintendent and a chief of staff. On this Thursday, which is tomorrow, right? The 14th.
14th, yeah.
There is, this will probably be out after that, but they're going to do a presentation on admin reorganization. And again, this is being led by Dr. Strom. I think he understands a lot of the problems in the district, and I think this admin reorganization is going to address a lot of these problems. I'm hearing rumors that they're going to eliminate, 30, 40, 50 administrative positions out of the district. So we're going to have to wait and see what that looks like.
That doesn't mean necessarily letting people go, or does it?
Oh, yeah, I think
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now again, people may be offered other positions within the district, possibly. That's what we don't know. Again, the meeting's going to be tomorrow night. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well,
again, a lot of encouraging signs, going on in this district.
I just got to say, I am so grateful and thankful that you decided to run a couple years ago. You jumped in with both feet, and you weren't successful. We could talk about the reasons why that's kind of weird.
It is weird.
But you're still involved. You're sticking with it, and anyway, I'm grateful that you are doing that, because you can.
Oh, I appreciate it. I mean, this is important. I mean, what happens?
So you're sincere. You weren't just doing it to run for the seat. You're sincere.
Look, I got a lot of better things I could be doing. But
Yeah, all
Again,
of us.
this is all of us. This is important stuff, though. This is for our community. This is for our children. This is for our grandchildren. You know,
for the city, it's for the
it's
state,
for the
it's for the
city.
country.
It is.
I mean,
It is
yeah.
for all of this. And you know, we want good community citizens to grow up in our community, right? The fact that over 80% of the high school graduates in Mesa remain in Mesa, you know, it's a high number. And so we need to start turning out good citizenry if we ever hope to have, you know, a good, moral, and just society that we live in.
And people that can work,
And people that can work.
which kind of transitions into
So, yeah, our other topic,
Yeah.
East Valley Institute of Technology, EVIT. Mesa Public Schools just entered into, I guess it's an intergovernment agreement with EVIT. I think it was the first time that a single school district has done this. They've done it before, like as a cooperative agreement, but this is specifically done Mesa Public Schools to EVIT just by themselves. I'm really excited about this. This opens up a lot of opportunities for students to attend EVIT, and just like we talked about earlier, you and I did, certifications in the trades, whether it's welding or construction, HVAC. You know, these are all things that, quite frankly, plumbing, quite frankly,
electrical.
artificial intelligence isn't going to go out and do these things
Yet.
Yet. We're getting robots, but you know, you know, it's funny. I say it's not going to happen, but it might.
Yeah.
But I just want to say, you know, and EVIT's been around for a long time, and the fact that they're literally in our backyard, you know, this is a gem. I say this all the time. EVIT is a gem, not just for the opportunities of the students, but the opportunity of the business community, our local business community. And I can attest to this firsthand because, again, I used to own a manufacturing business, and we were literally 1.5 miles from EVIT. And when I needed a welder, guess where I went? I went to EVIT. And I got to know, I think it was Mr. Zamora was the welding instructor there. And I'm like, who's your best student? Let me see him. And we did do some hires out of that. Now, I will tell you, and this was probably almost 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I hired a young man. He's still with the company. In fact, I was just at the company a couple of, I don't know, a month or so ago. He's still there. The company's grown by leaps and bounds, right? He's worked his way up through the company, and within just a few years, I suspect, and it's being set up that way, that he's going to run the shop of this pretty significant manufacturing company. And this guy, you know, never went to college, never did anything, you know, never graduated with the student loan debt. You know, he's going to be making 6 figures.
If I can just chime in here, when we first moved to Mesa, we were doing remodeling on our house, and I went down to Home Depot, and there was this young man, and he had this apron on, and it said "Coach." I said, well, you know, "Coach, what do you coach of?" He goes, "Oh, well, I'm onboarding all the new hires and everybody on their systems." And I'm like, "Oh," I said, "You know, how old are you?" And he goes, 18. I'm a senior in high school. And this was in the springtime. He goes, "Yeah, but I won't be here after I graduate." I go, "Why? Why are you leaving?" He goes, "Well, I have a job lined up." I go, "Oh, what kind of job?" He goes, "I got a welding job lined up." I'm like, "Welding? Where did you learn how to weld?" "Oh, while I was in high school." And I'm like, "Are you certified?" Everything. He goes, "Yeah." And I looked at him, and I was just I was encouraged, and my mind just, and I said to him, I go, "So you're gonna go? You got a welding job right out of high school. Your peers that are gonna go to a 4-year, or maybe they stay 5 or 6 years
to get a 4-year degree."
And
Yes.
you're going to be making money right out the door. By the time they graduate, get their diplomas and whatever they're getting, they're not going to be making necessarily what you're making right out the
Right
door.
out of high school.
They might also have student. I'm having this conversation with them.
Yes.
And I go, by the time they're graduated, you might have the wherewithal to run your own shop.
That's right.
I said, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I was so encouraged that was kind of a culture here in Mesa. And I met someone. So I even looked at going to night school to learn how to weld, just so I
learn how to weld.
Just learn how to do it. Yeah.
Right.
And that to me, and I've told my kids that, I go, look, you don't have to go, the college isn't for everybody.
Right.
But if you want to go, whatever, make sure it's something that at least you're going to have value in
when you get out.
When you get out.
Right.
So I'm really happy to hear this. Just such a good experience for me, meeting a young man that took advantage of that. And, we're almost 5 years later now, and I don't know what he's doing, but I'm sure he's.
I
he's
wonder
doing
what
well.
I wonder what his cohorts are doing, his peers.
Graduating.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
150, 200,000 in student debt.
At minimum.
And with a degree that's going to earn them, what, 30,000 a year?
40 maybe.
40?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the trades are certainly something I think historically have been overlooked and looked down upon even, because people, blue collar, we look down at white collar, blue collar. Again, it's division. It's division. And we need all of it.
Was it Rowe? What was his name? Dirty Jobs.
Oh, Mike Rowe.
Yeah. And one of the things that he looked at the story tells he looked at a poster in the counselor's office, and it says, "Work smarter, not harder." And he said, "Well, what if we did both? What if
Right.
what if we worked smarter and harder at the
Right.
same time?"
Right.
Which gives you perspective on it. Ed, is there anything else that you can add or want to add?
Well, I just want to end with this. Don't be complacent about what's going on in your community. Get involved in some way. If nothing else, go to a meeting, go to the city council meeting, go to the school board meeting, watch them online, interact with the leadership and your elected representatives. A lot of people think, they'll never listen, but they do. They really do. But a lot of people want you to think they don't listen, not necessarily the folks that are in office, but the people who don't want you to know about what's going on. So my advice is just find a way to get involved. It's all of our community, and it's going to take all of us to keep it going or put it going in the right direction.
Well, with that, Mr. Ed, really appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, always good to be here. Enjoy it.
Giving us an update, some numbers, but also some encouragement. There's some really good hope.
Good things on the horizon. We're
Yep.
looking at it. And again, Mesa Public Schools is a massive ship. You're not going to
Yep.
turn it on a dime.
But
we have to start taking the right
the community
steps
needs
now.
it to be successful.
The community needs it. I mean,
It has to be successful. If it's not successful, it'll affect all of us.
that's true.
So with that being said, thank you for watching. For those of you that appreciate this type of content, please like us, please share, please subscribe. And with that, I'm Alex Ranicic. Let's save Mesa together. See you next time.
Bye.